off my penis! A succulent Chinese meal. Are you waiting to receive my limp penis?
I am not gay. I have relationships with women. Sex with men.
And I got news for you. That means you're
Gay.
No, I take the
Right Power Podcast.
seriously. No nation has ever been so ready to seize the power and the freedom of
Right Power Podcast.
as our own. That's not what the
Right Power Podcast.
can do for you. But what can you do for the
Right Power Podcast.
white folks are dead. We get the fuck out of here.
Put your fucking mouth on the curb. Right now. Right now.
Well, Nicole, just before her death in 2022, Amy Eskridge had announced plans to present her groundbreaking work with anti-gravity
Technology.
Here in Huntsville, we've been intentionally under the below the radar. We've been intentionally spooky, hush hush, don't tell anyone. We use heady words on our website, but we don't actually say it directly what we do. So I've kept my profile very low, intentionally, and I even went as far as I removed the contact form from my website because I was getting so much fucking heat. It was just insane. But for disclosure, they need to have seen me. We've got something big. There's a documentary on Netflix that is posted an hour from now, and there's a paper on archive.com. Here's the thing about the documentary and why it's so crucial. Disclosure is going to come out of Huntsville, Alabama, out of Redstone Arsenal. Redstone Arsenal in Huntsville, Alabama is the biggest fucking deal that you've never heard of. Because the fact is that we have deep and wide, extensive credibility that no one knows about because you're not supposed to know about it. Because it's in Alabama, it's obscure, you're not supposed to know about it. That's the point. People don't know what Huntsville is. Huntsville is the biggest fucking deal on the planet that you have never heard of. Huntsville is the Silicon Valley of government national security technology and intelligence community technology and aerospace technology. Huntsville is the hub. We are number 3 on the First Strike launch list. If First Strike happens, 3 targets, Huntsville will be one of them. Alabama. This is the Alabama dude in the Deep South. We're in the top 3 First Strike. We're in the top 3 First Strike because you haven't heard of us. That's why.
It's on purpose.
Hello, welcome to the Right Power Podcast. My name is Rob. I am, in fact, not Corey Haim grown up. And we're gonna go through a complete and utter tonal reversal from what you just saw earlier with this upcoming topic. It's pretty dark. Before I continue to go forward with the topic at hand, I'd like to proclaim that I am in no way, shape, or form suicidal. I am of sound mind, sound body, and I'm a healthy adult male. I do not suffer from depression, drug addiction, or even tiny little short bouts of sadness. My seasonal allergies are a completely fucking different story. I digress. In fact, I just purchased an open-ended ticket to a band that does not even exist yet, but maybe in 10 or 20 years they'll put on a dope-ass show, and and I want to go to that. So, takeaway, not suicidal. So today's subject, Amy Eskridge. Amy Eskridge was murdered, but it was deemed a suicide. Well, let me give you a little backstory on Amy. She was a 34-year-old researcher and an entrepreneur, scientist based in Huntsville, Alabama. And she died on June 11th, 2022. And yes, they officially ruled her death a suicide by a self-inflicted gunshot wound. Now, Amy, she had 2 Bachelor of Science degrees, 1 in chemistry and 1 in biology. And what her deal was, space propulsion, anti-gravity, that kind of thing. And she co-founded something called the Institute for Exotic Science, and also holocron engineering. Now, the Institute for Exotic Science was based on, propulsion, quantum gravity, material science. And we'll get into that a little later. Now, holocron engineering, that was that gravity startup. I think that was a public-facing company, and their work involved superconductors, gravitomagnetism, and high voltage pulsed power, yada yada yada. And we'll get into all those later. I have looked those up as well. So it is what it is. And what her public goal was with these entities was she wanted open source, open, non-classified research for the benefit of humanity, rather than dark money projects, which is commendable. She was trying to do some stuff, and well, I think she paid the price for it. I have something I want to show you. It's a bit of a documentary and this guy, Julian Dory. Just want to see if we can piece together some things. I have a lot of other stuff to get into. This is a bit of a deep dive. Some horrible accusations all about multiple scientists that have gone missing or are dead, lost in the woods, had weird medical emergencies. Here we go. Cue it.
And now, let's go to the latest one, Amy Eskridge. Amy Eskridge was 34 years old, I believe, and she died in 2022. And the Daily Mail just put this all together, a great timeline of like how this got into the mainstream of like us all looking at it. But Amy Eskridge did not work for the government. She worked for her own company whose name was long and it escapes me right now.
Also known as the Gravity Research Institute. It was called the Exotic Sciences Institute, also known as...
Okay, the Gravity Research Institute?
Yep.
She was working on anti-gravity. Now, it gets weird, but it is a real physics concept and something that there's a lot of people who believe they have some evidence with it as well that we do have it. So Amy worked on this stuff and she worked down in Huntsville, which means she's working with, like when she's running her own company, Deef, you're dealing with the government as clients.
Yeah.
You're working on a contractual basis. NASA has a famous base there in Huntsville, rocket propulsion stuff.
I just wanted to make note that she is dealing with NASA a lot in what she's doing. They even did pull back in 2020. She was going to be planning to present novel foundational work regarding anti-gravity, but she needed approval from NASA.
So she also said in 2022, what was the exact quote, Deef?
This was during a podcast. If you stick your neck out in public, at least someone notices if your head gets chopped off. If you stick your neck out in private, they will bury you, they will burn down your house while you're sleeping in your bed, and it won't even make the news. That's why the Institute exists.
She also had a direct quote, I forget where I put it, where she talked about her life being in danger. Yeah, she warned my life is in danger. It's in the headline of a Daily Mail article as a quote, who UFO-linked scientists who, quote, warned my life is in danger, unquote, found dead at 34, becomes 11th mysterious case. And the part of that they should have been more clear on, that was a little bit misleading, is it made it sound like she was found dead yesterday. Yeah. She was found dead in 2022. You know, this is a brilliant woman with 1,000,000 degrees working on some crazy shit. The technological race of just the world itself, a country gets to that kind of stuff first. Not only do you not want to tell people, but you are 10 steps ahead of any other country before they even find out they're behind. Her disappearance, this is more of a red one for me. This is more like something there. Again, it's 4 years ago though. So let's look at that timeline of this story developing, Deef.
With Amy, what was interesting was there was no police report of her self-inflicted gunshot, no autopsy, and rapid cremation was ordered. So those
ordered it? The family?
I couldn't get anything concrete to say.
Interesting. The fact that she's saying, and again, people get paranoid sometimes, but then she does off herself, and you wonder if that's what it was. The fact that someone like that was working so closely to something so important, though, and then...
So I just remembered, too, the day after she, offs herself, her institute is shut down and the webpage is taken off the internet.
Gone, like it was never there. I wonder who else has access to that. Did she have a husband? Because that's another thing. With a lot of these people, their spouses were serious people, too. In some cases, literally working on other areas of science, which is fascinating.
There's no police report, no reporting of her injuries. Her family has her rapidly cremated after she offed herself. And then the day after that, her institute is shut down and the website goes offline. Offed. Allegedly by her own hand. I'm just asking questions. It's just insane. So the coroner's ruling stands as a squeaky sigh. You know what I'm saying? And there's literally no indications from the authorities that it's been reclassified or reopened as a homicide. No coroner's report, autopsy details, no police report, nothing public. The summary of the coroner's report yielded 0, nil, nothing. And that could be due to privacy, but come on. It seems pretty crazy. And they did mention on Julian Dory's podcast, and like and subscribe. There are way more instances of this happening with other scientists, and we will definitely get into that later. I have some websites I'd like to bring up. The first thing I'd like to do is bring up Amy's obituary, because I found a little fascinating. Is her obituary, and here it is. This is she was born 1987. to June 11th, 2022. Miss Amy Catherine Eskridge. The family of Miss Amy Catherine Eskridge created this live tribute page to make it easy to share your memories. Now, this is where I'm very, it kind of boggles my mind. We're not mad enough. Thank you for being you. Amy, your work and tellings will come to light in the future you should have been living in. In a world with so many messed up people running it, your work will outshine all of it, and it is in the hearts of everyone else here. I and many others believe the USA government killed her. No doubt. And then we have this link to a Substack, and another link to a Substack, targeted individual, and we'll look into those in a moment. They're trying to do the same thing to us. R.I.P. Amy. I've watched her videos before she died about microwave attacks. They're microwaving us right now. We know, and we'll do everything we can to let the people know about these DEW attacks so this never happens to anyone again. I need you guys to actually research her death. Please watch her last few videos before her being murdered. This is not a suicide, this is murder. And here you go. Imagine your own parents not believing you. The people that are supposed to love you the most didn't believe when she needed them the most. Now, see, this is where I'm hard-pressed to believe that her parents didn't believe that something nefarious could have happened to her. I think it's more self-preservation. Now, you know, it's very conspiratorial coded here, and I don't really do conspiracies, but I mean, sometimes considering what you see with this, it seems like there's something to it. And I have a feeling her parents are probably trying to protect the rest of their family. Truly saddened by her story. I just learned about it over here in Finland. I love Miss Amy every day. She talks to me in my ear using language only she does. Lol. I wish so much I could spend more time with her. TargetedJustice.com. Here's some more Substacks. And we'll get into those in a bit. Gang stalking, covert harassment, sabotage, and murder of scientist Amy Eskridge, disclosure of electrogravitic, anti-gravity, free energy, and space-time technology. And we'll look at all these. This needs to be seen. So here you have a young woman cut down, I would say in her prime, at the apex of her life. Your life's just beginning in your 30s. It's really kind of weird how that works out. And this is it's just sad. It's horrible. This might not go over well with my people. Definitely with the opening. Tonal shift. All right, I want to take a look at these Substacks and these targeted individual links real quick, because there's something on here that I couldn't find anywhere just now. I was able to find it in her obituary, which is pretty rad. Amy Eskridge was microwaved like we are every day. They used it to stress this woman out and push her to do what they said she did. Whoever microwaved her are the ones who should be responsible for her death. And how do we know they did this to her? Because they do it to us every day. Now, I'm not the guy for this, you know, but I was looking for any pictures of this. So this is allegedly from her. It's Amy. Hit my whole upper body as I was typing on my computer, burned the crap out of my hands. That's crazy. Wow. Here's this what I'm about to bring up is off the Targeted Justice newsletter. Amy Eskridge was likely murdered with a directed energy weapon. Congressman Eric Burleson says she was likely murdered by a directed energy weapon. And here he says, Amy Eskridge was likely murdered by a U.S. aerospace company with a directed energy weapon. He determined that she was the victim of a directed energy weapon, that she was likely murdered by U.S. aerospace, and so we have, I guess, my shit doesn't support this. Here we go. Amy was a scientist linked to UFO research. There are earlier reports that say she was gang stalked and hit with directed energy weapons. This is crazy. Now, okay, now here we got a list right here. And, of all was the workers with ties to advanced research who have disappeared or died since 2023. This is insane. That's 11, including her. It's 11 scientists. 11 scientists. They all had their toes dipped into research on anti-gravity. There's something to be said about this, man. This is nuts. But we're gonna go on. I did find some more. So we will be getting into it. All right, I want to show you what I'm about to play next is a video of her talking about her institute, and this is Amy from her own mouth. It's it seems like a commercial, but here we go.
Huntsville has enjoyed a 75-year history in the space exploration industry as a supplier of technology for rocket propulsion, space station construction, the Hubble Space Telescope, and transportation to Mars and other celestial bodies. This built on the Space 1.0 discoveries of Galileo and other early astronomers. These accomplishments occurred in the government-driven environment of the first space race, known as Space 2.0, where few risks were taken, schedules were relaxed, and mismanagement of funds created stalled progress. Today, however, is the Space 4.0 era, where Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, and other space barons are driving the commercialization of space with emphasis on taking calculated risks, where schedules are tight and cost minimization is paramount. Musk's goal is a 65% reduction in the cost of a pound of cargo delivered to Earth orbit, and he is almost there. The barons' objectives, of course, are to facilitate the commercialization of space exploration in the same manner as the Hudson's Bay Company commercialized the seaborne trade routes of the 15th and 16th centuries. The space barons' destinations, however, are Earth orbit, the Moon, Mars, the asteroid belts, and beyond. If Huntsville is to remain a key player, it must evolve itself from beyond the old culture, and we must become the leader under the new Space 4.0 rule set. We must course correct to bring new technology to the industry by adopting commercial practices. The Institute for Exotic Science provides the commercially oriented technology development infrastructure that the industry needs. Huntsville's Marshall Space Flight Center and Redstone Arsenal have shelves full of technology that began under the old methods but which were abandoned along the way. These technologies are available for those asking, or are in the hands of the many local scientists who partially developed them. Inventor Bill Dent was working on detecting buried explosives on the roadside when the end of the Iraq War caused his project to be canceled. Now at the Institute, he is working to apply the same technology for detection of illicit drugs in sealed ocean-going shipping containers. Retired NASA scientist Richard Eskridge is working to apply his thruster technology to meet the requirements of tens of thousands of small satellites that are planned for launch to provide internet service to the developing world. At the Institute, we harness this repository of technologies by providing a platform where the inventor can become a member of our team of diverse technical and business talents that can further mature the technology and take the resulting products to market and spin out companies that create value for the inventors, the Institute, and the global space economy. The Institute received an initial $555,000 investment and seeks tens of millions to expand into permanent facilities, build its inventory of science and technology assets, and produce the leading-edge technologies needed to fully take advantage of the business opportunities presented by the new space economy. Our 10-year vision is a campus holding hundreds of employees, dozens of spin-out companies, and highly profitable commercial operations. Launchpad prize money will be used to organize this fundraising effort.
That seems really, really awesome. Now, it would have been really, really awesome and mega awesome if she could have brought that to fruition, but she could not because she found herself in her prime. And I just, and this is all alleged, and it's so hard. It's tough to sit here and not. There is something wrong here, and you can feel it in your bones. It's crazy. This poor woman. What about those other 10 scientists? What happened to them?
Is there any possibility of I know it's probably hard to find a possibility, but crossover between the black world and the illuminated world? That because frequently things move from the illuminated world into the black world.
Yeah, we noticed that.
Many times.
Yeah.
And they disappear. But I mean, it's to the black world's advantage to keep the illuminated world going because that acts as a spawning ground for ideas that they might not have. So it's not necessarily their advantage to keep it completely secondary. And potentially, since Griffin is now at the pinnacle of the group that controls DARPA, and he has a history that goes through UAH, there would seem to be possibly some fertile ground for some conversation.
Yeah. I've thought about that. the combination of the private and the public-private institution, and then kind of working with the Blacker budget.
A quote from Griffin.
A quote from Griffin.
NASA is no longer by any means a research organization.
What about the innovator who's afraid of disappearing?
That's a whole other problem. I think doing it in the public.
Tell me off the record, okay? And they would never say this in public, but that they, for one, have colleagues that have been under attack by some sort of Havana syndrome, direct energy type of weapon or attack, something along those lines, and that they are in fear, like they are afraid for their lives.
What is Havana syndrome? Well, it is a syndrome with a variety of symptoms that are associated with it, including dizziness, headaches, pain, and cognitive problems. It's not a disease recognized by the ICD, internal classification of diseases, but most of the affected individuals report an acute onset of neurological symptoms associated with a perceived localized loud sounds such as screeching, chirping, clicking, or piercing noises. 2/3 report visual disturbances such as blurred vision and a sensitivity to light. Sounds kind of like having a migraine on crack. Not while you're on crack, but you get what I'm saying. And more than half report intense pressure or vibration in the head and ear pain, diffuse head pain, which I would imagine is just not localized, just all through, and cognitive problems such as forgetfulness and poor concentration. Basically, it mirrors, it has an overlap with multiple disorders. I mean, you've got migraines, ADD, tinnitus, all these things that would fit in a Venn diagram with this. Some infected individuals, they report chronic symptoms that last for months, such as balance and cognitive problems, insomnia and headaches, and the longevity isn't clear. And this is off of Wikipedia, by the way. They call it Havana syndrome because Havana, Cuba. So let's take a look at this together. All right. In August 2017, reports began surfacing that American and Canadian diplomatic personnel in Cuba had experienced unusual, unexplained health problems dating to late 2016. As of June 2018, the number of American citizens experiencing symptoms was 26. All right. The original 21 events in Cuba were characterized as starting with strange grating noises coming from a specific direction. Some people reported pressure, vibration, or sensation comparable to driving a car with the window partially rolled down. These noises lasted from 20 seconds to 30 minutes and happened while the diplomats were either at home or in hotel rooms. Other people nearby, including family members and guests in neighboring rooms, did not experience the same symptoms. In 2017, the U.S. State Department concluded that the health problems were either a result of an attack due to exposure to an unknown device, but that it was not blaming the Cuban government and would not say who was to blame. Speculation centered around a sonic weapon, with some reports pointing to infrasound as possible cause. Oh well. Affected people described symptoms such as hearing loss, memory loss, nausea, and some U.S. embassy workers reporting lasting health problems. And there you have it, Havana syndrome. Havana. I heard it's lovely this time of year. I'm not suicidal. I'd like to go over the names of the workers that were in, that did this kind of research that have disappeared in weird, strange circumstances over the past few years. And just to bring us up to speed, the other 10. So let's go ahead and do that. All right. Stephen Garcia, government contractor at the Kansas City National Security Campus in Albuquerque, missing since August 28, 2025. William Neil McCasland, retired U.S. Air Force Major General, missing since February 27, 2026. Anthony Chavez, former employee at Los Alamos National Laboratory, missing since May 8, 2025. Melissa Cassius, administrative worker at Los Alamos National Laboratory, missing since June 26, 2025. Monica Riza, director of materials processing at NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory, missing since June 22nd, 2025. Nuno Loriero, director of MIT's Plasma Science and Fusion Center, died December 16th, 2025 after being shot the day before. Carl Grillmer, Caltech astrophysicist who worked on NASA's NEOWISE and NEO Surveyor project, died February 16th, 2026. Michael David Hicks, research scientist at NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory, JPL, died July 30th, 2023. Frank Mywald, researcher at NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory, JPL, died July 4th, 2024. And then Jason Thomas, pharmaceutical researcher, missing since December 12th, 2025, found dead March 17, 2026. I wonder if he had found the cure for cancer. One may never know. those are the other 10 scientists, researchers that are just it's scary. It's absolutely it's a nightmare, and not suicidal. I'd like to explain some concepts to you, and it's just as much for me as it is for the audience here. All right, superconductors, materials that become perfect mirrors for magnetism when super cold, and you could imagine this as like magnets, like floating in labs. You know, like you ever see those novelty, like floating ashtrays or floating, you know, thing. You can get them off Amazon, and it's just like a floating spinning disc, a microcosm of anti-gravity. It's novelty, but there's a basis. It holds the basis for actual anti-gravity. And in the 1990s, they did spinning disc experiments. It's controversial and it's unproven. Who knows? It could have been proved by Amy, but we'll never know that. And there's gravitomagnetism. It states a moving and spinning mass creates a gravity magnetic field, kind of like how electricity creates magnetism. It's like our own planet, Earth. It's spinning as a giant cylinder, twisting space itself, because that's what it's doing. In theory, it could make. They're using this as a starting point for theoretical lift without fuel, like basically propulsion without fuel. It is apparently weak as hell, so it's not practical. High voltage pulse power, and it's apparently a lightning fast, super strong electrical zap from massive capacitors. There were historical experiments where weird and strange capacitor shapes seem to thrust against gravity. I'm just telling you what these terms mean. I'm reading them. But when combined with superconductors, they can actually work to a degree. They say the thrust created by this method disappears in a vacuum, which that's what space is. It's just apparently ionic wind. It's not true anti-gravity. So they say none of these ideas by themselves or together have yielded any results, any anti-gravity. It's all failed. Now plasma physics and fusion, this is the secret sauce for space travel. Even I know this. Plasma is the fourth state of matter. It's a superheated electrically charged gas suit. And I was a welder, so I've seen a lot of plasma. And you can find a practical version of this would be in, like I said, welding in neon signs and the fucking sun. And plasma physics is basically just the study of how this charged plasma moves and can be controlled by magnetism. Fusion basics, smashing hydrogen atoms together to make helium plus insane clean energy, which is basically the same power source as the sun, for now, until we go supernova. Plasma is the only way to get atoms hot enough without melting shit. Plasma ion thrusters are already on satellites, on probes, and they're very efficient, so I've read. But in the future, we're going to see fusion rockets, and there's already been breakthroughs just this year, so it could be a game changer, bro. I just want to get through a few terms here. Now, what Amy was working on was basically goes down to anti-gravity for propulsion in space travel. And there are 3 key building blocks. One is the advanced propulsion, and that's plasma ion drives, nuclear fusion concepts, materials, maybe some elements we don't know about that they found somewhere else, but I don't know anything about that. I'm not suicidal. Creating composite materials that are more lightweight, maybe more deformable, maybe self-healing, heat resistant, that can that can make it through space and not be decimated or obliterated by like super speed, survive re-entry, whatnot. But the plasma physics, that's the be-all end-all. That's what these are the 3. It's propulsion, materials, and plasma physics. And if it can power the thrusters, and you can get airflow control, if you can control all these things and you can get all these where they need to be, I mean, this is some heavy stuff. And I have no clue. I'm not a mathematician. I'm not even a scientist. I'm just a armchair engineer. I work on computers and electronics. That's about it. This, don't think for 1 second that this came from my mind. I'm just telling you, I'm just trying to help you out, and it's helping me out as well. So if you feel lost, that is also my fault. But I'm actually learning a little bit here. But we're going to move on. All right, I'm going to show you the Institute of Exotic Sciences website. Got this from the obituary. All right. Historical perspective on anti-gravity technology. So we have a public benefit corporation specializing in quantum computing, gravity modification, metamaterial science, and communications, Huntsville based, with international co-founders and collaborators. Until there weren't, because they're crazy. Here's the team. Now, I'd like to go ahead and point out, here's Amy. And then here's Richard Eskridge, which is her father. Professor Emeritus, and she's the president. Now, the reason I wanted to point that out is because her father had said, you know, sometimes scientists just die. Sometimes they just, you know, they go out like that, you know. It's how it be sometimes. And chemist, entrepreneur. And this is Holocron Engineering. Based father-daughter company with expertise in gravity modification research and development. Richard Eskridge, retired NASA engineer scientist. Gravity and anti-gravity definitions. Gravity, a fundamental physical force that is responsible for interactions with occur because of a mass between particles, between aggregations of matter, such as stars and planets, and between particles, such as photons, and aggregations of matter that is 10 to 39 times the strength of the strong force, and that extends over infinite distances, but is dominant over macroscopic distances, especially between aggregations of matter. Anti-gravity, reducing, canceling, or protecting against the effect of gravity. What I will do is I will leave this in the description, so you guys can look over it. But I find this fascinating. It's absolutely nuts. Let's go on, shall we?
Stephen Garcia, man, Jesse, this one is chilling to me because, as you said, it echoes Neil McCaslin's disappearance right down to the same thing. The same thing, the state of New Mexico. So Stephen Garcia, I mean, he had a top security clearance at KCNSC.
Is that per a source, though? A source said that.
This is per a source. Okay. Yes, per a source that was close to Garcia. But look, where he worked at KCNSC, I mean, they manufacture 80% of non-nuclear components that go into building military nuclear weapons. And I mean, he oversaw tens of millions of dollars of assets, equipment, some classified, some not. I mean, we don't know what was going on in this guy's head, right? The officials had said that he may have been a danger to himself. He was seen carrying a gun. And it sounds crazy, but between Garcia and General McCaslin, I have to wonder, and again, I know this sounds crazy, but it could be an option here. I mean, is the government doing this? Are they taking out their own people because of XYZ? And wait, I want to point something else out to you, Jesse.
I don't even want to
literally, I'm on a roll. I'm on a roll. But tomorrow, April 14th, that is when Rep. Anna Luna gave Pete Hegseth this deadline. She requested 46 UAP videos, and look, there's a good reason behind it. I mean, these videos she detailed in this filing, and they say, you know, Iran, XYZ date, you know, 2022, Syria, XYZ date, shaped like a cigar. You know, this is a matter of national security, and this is important because in real time, we don't know what's in the sky. We don't know if this is some kind of, you know, a UAP. We don't know if it's a drone. We don't know enough.
Are you getting any official word from authorities, investigators that are maybe trying to link these 10 episodes? Are they all disconnected? They're saying you can't make a connection because, again, I mean, you think you laid it out very well. There are eerie similarities.
Oh, of course there are. You're absolutely right. And I've reached out to Rep. Burleson's office, Rep. Burchett's office, and I did hear back from Burleson's office last week. And look, they said, you know, they haven't heard directly from the White House, and they haven't brought up General McCaslin's disappearance at all. They were being very safe with me, I want to say. Rep. Burchett's office didn't respond to me at all. But Burchett just said, I forget what show he was on, but he just said he talked to, quote, folks at the White House about this, and that President Trump is about to do some disrupting. I just don't believe it. Obama tried to release these UFO files. Clinton tried to release them. Nothing happened. I get it. People think Trump is different, but what's so different? I mean,
there has been a lot of questions about, did they get any call? Did they get any messages? because just to leave the house, allegedly armed, in such a strange way. I mean, even with McCaslin, there's an allegation that he didn't want to be found. And anything about what they were up to in the days, weeks, hours before?
So there is nothing public, and I mean, I am digging right now.
Yeah.
It's tough. You want to reach out to family members, you want to reach out to friends, but you want to do it in a way that's not so invasive. I mean, their family members are missing. This is very serious. And I saw a Facebook post. Stephen Garcia's, I think it was his niece, who was like, "Has anyone seen my uncle?" Just begging, pleading. And so you really have to think about the protections for whistleblowers as well. There's so much that needs to be said, and it's terrible.
You might not know the answer to this. Did they know each other? Did any of these people know each other, work together in the same Venn diagram? I mentioned New Mexico together, but...
Right, well, we discussed last week, we discussed Monica Reza, who worked alongside or underneath Neil McCaslin, and they both were stationed at Wright-Patterson. So there is a connection there. I haven't made connections between any of the others just yet. I do know that it is interesting. Carl Grillmayer, I've been looking into his death, the Caltech astrophysicist. I did notice some neighbors in the area, and he lives in a very remote area. They also worked in aerospace research, which again, I wish I had all day to focus on this story, Jesse. I really do. But I'll get there.
It's not going anywhere. It's not going anywhere. It's being amplified again and again and again because this is so strange on so many different levels. I know you're going to stay on top of it. Lauren Conlon, great to see you. Thanks for giving us some insight.
Thank you.
My first requested video, and it comes from Caden P893. I'll put it up here, or there, or there. We'll put it up. Caden P seems like a very decent person, and I appreciate you, and thank you for this, because I definitely was looking for something to do a video on.
Before I grow, try silence. When I throw, on a strike, no backing down. We might refuse. Run it down.